The Seeberufsgenossenschaft instructs. Use your head. Accident prevention on board.
Unterwegs sein. In unserer Gesellschaft.
Being on the move. Taken for granted in our society. However much pleasure you get out of it, there's always a risk attached to being on the move. Every year, the Seeberufsgenossenschaft has to deal with accident reports. Every year, injuries. Every year, fatalities due to accidents. Avoidable accidents. It starts with going on board. Relief crew meet at the foot of the gangway. The usual grumbles about leave. Heinrich is back from a spell on land, and he proudly introduces Harry, his 2-year-old daughter's favorite teddy, whom she's sent along with him to see the world.
Darf ich vorstellen? Harry.
Harry? Ja, der Mann Harry ab.
Scheiße! Aua! Mensch!
Have a good trip.
Pass bloß auf hier!
Ja, ja. Oh Mensch, die Klappen müssen...
The man ropes need tightening too. Every year, injuries. Every year, fatalities due to accidents, due to avoidable accidents. How could this happen? Inadequate gangway lighting. The gangway landing is set too high. The man rope is too slack. The crosspiece is set too low. It should have been cleared aside. The gangway safety net has not been laid out. Putting out the gangway. A familiar situation. The ship isn't fully tied up, the pilot's waiting to be dropped, the port authorities are ready waiting, the crew are looking forward to their shore leave. Let the gangway down as quickly as possible. Considering that everyone, from crew to visitors, provisioners to dockers, have to use the gangway to go on or from board, every conceivable safety precaution should be taken. Safety starts with fitting the man rope stanchions, reeving the man rope, laying out the gangway safety net and ensuring good illumination of the whole gangway area. Teamwork is more than a catchword here. The fact is that regular jobs tend to become mere routine. On the one hand, this is positive for smooth working. On the other hand, routine can lead to negligence, thereby provoking mistakes. Big ones as well as little ones. The big ones are immediately apparent. It's the little mistakes that cause dangerous situations. Here, for example, is there a bollard in the way? First, give thought to where the gangway is going to rest. Concentrate on the job at all times. When letting down the gangway, hold the man ropes slack and don't belay them until the gangway is almost down. The tight man ropes now guarantee the crew a firm grip. Not every quayside has such an even surface as this one. In the case of uneven ground, level off the accommodation ladder. It's very important to clear the gangway traverse out of the way to keep open access.
Erik, schmeiß mal die Leine runter. Hol hoch das Netz.
Finally, the gangway safety net is laid out. The gangway net ensures the safety of the whole area between the pier and the ship's side, so it has to be made fast to the ship and the shore. If there's no other way of securing it to the pier, a line can be stretched between two bollards. When the net is in position, the gangway illumination is put in place. Obstacles cannot always be cleared away. Free access to the gangway is often blocked by a harbour crane. Special hazards have to be specially marked. In the dark, the danger area requires extra illumination. A gangway laid out like this guarantees easy access to the ship for all. And Harry can discover the world in safety as soon as he's got his sea legs. Master hands use their head. If you want to get to the top, use a ladder. If you want to stay at the top, you must know how to use a ladder. Because it's often only little things, things which don't seem to matter at all, that play a devastating part. Helmets belong on your head, otherwise they're pointless.
Was ist das denn? Oh Mensch, so ein Shit.
Is this the right position? The position may be right, but there's something very wrong with that ladder. I'll steady it. Is it straight? Can't see from here. Right hand up a bit. To the right.
Mann, ja. Ja, so ist gut. Fest.
Get going.
Ja.
Every year, casualties. Every year, fatalities, due to accidents, due to avoidable accidents. How could that have happened? It's a fact that one of the commonest causes of accidents is the improper use of simple ladders. So before starting work, check the ladder for safety. Concentrate on the job when assisting your mate. Remember, his life may depend on you. Secure the ladder against twisting and slipping. The first commandment here is only use intact equipment. Note that the ladder's tread safety and freedom from sway depend largely on the condition of the non-skid rubber shoes, so check their profiles. Lashing the ladder head is one way to ensure against side slip in the absence of other safety measures. This calls for seamanship. Carry your tools and equipment up individually. The golden rule, one hand for the man, one for the ship, applies specially here. Never use objects to help level a ladder. This piece of board belongs in the trash can. It's stupid not to make use of available safety features. Safety harness with fall arrestor and shock absorber will replace conventional safety belt. So take no risks. There's no arguing with safety.
Erich, ich bin fertig.
Okay, nimm die Schablone.
Remove the stencil and come down.
Jetzt erstmal Smoke Time.
Time for a smoke now. Master hands use their head.
Es gibt Dinge, die haben ihre Geschichte schon hinter sich.
Some things tell a sorry tale, showing that something went wrong somewhere. Of course, we have opticians and repair services, but it's not such an easy matter with your crewmates.
Hey, Chef.
Ja?
The cook has had some provisions delivered. They've been left way up forward.
Alles muss man sich selber.
What a drag. No entry. What the hell?
Hey, Chef!
Ja.
What's for lunch today? Something special.
Hey, kick gut!
Look out! How could that happen? He ignored the no entry sign. He stood under a traveling load.
Aufenthalt unter schwebender Last.
He wasn't wearing a safety helmet or safety footwear.
Schuhe.
Unmarked obstacles.
Nicht markiert.
Lashings left unsecured during a work break. It's a fact that deck hazards are often underestimated by all crew members. The marine workplace is full of potential everyday hazards. For this reason, you should always wear a safety helmet and strong footwear while on deck. Keep your eyes and ears open. No matter whether it's small loads or major cargo handling operations, the danger zone around the loading area must be avoided. Secure the working area to ensure that no-go zones are not entered by unauthorized persons. Ensure that access ways are maintained outside the hazard zone. Remember that persons whose workplace is down below and not on deck tend to underestimate the dangers on deck. Keep an eye on your surroundings. Marked obstacles can be recognized easily. But this is not enough. A clear deck is a safe deck. And the occasional coat of paint helps too. What are you doing there?
Wer? Ich?
Ja,
Marking obstacles.
Hindernisse.
No one's going to tread on your toes anymore.
Nun, mein Freund.
Master hands use their head.
Jede Crew hat so ihre persönlichen.
Each crew has its own catchphrases and jargon. Here on board, for example, everyone knows the joke about the pearl diver. Have you heard it? It's got something to do with the rules for working in hazardous enclosed spaces, and you should be familiar with those. What about the pearl diver, though? Rudy is ordered to make the locking bolt workable. He mustn't forget to lock up afterwards.
Geht in Ordnung.
And the fire flap must stay closed.
Bleiben dicht. Dicht. Okay?
He'll inspect the work after lunch. the hammer had to fall down the shaft. Rudi, where are you?
Mann, Rudi, wo bist du?
Every year, casualties. Every year, fatalities. Due to accidents. Due to avoidable accidents. How could that happen? In enclosed spaces, there's always a danger of oxygen deficiency. Attention, never enter enclosed spaces without an authorization. Attention, mortal danger. In enclosed spaces lurks death. Closed fire flaps and locked access hatches are an indication of danger. Ship's rooms and tanks, which have been isolated from the outside atmosphere for some time, may be deficient in oxygen. Such spaces may only be entered with a special authorization. His hammer's fallen down the shaft. Can he go down and fetch it? The bosun tells him that the hatch has been closed for 10 days and there's nothing to fetch, least of all air, unless, of course, he's a pearl diver. Why a pearl diver? The bosun tells him to lock up and secure the hatch, and he'll explain later. The hatch has been locked and secured. What about the pearl diver? Sharing responsibility means looking after your crewmates' welfare too, in every situation. In the rules for working in hazardous locations, you can read that a dangerous lack of oxygen can result from slow oxidization of ship's components, or from cargoes or equipment that have been kept sealed off from the outside air for any length of time in ship's rooms or tanks. The oxidization of organic substances also produces nitrogenous gases, which tend to reduce the oxygen content of the enclosed air still further. Only a few days or even hours after exclusion of air, the oxygen content can fall to such an extent that an unprotected person entering the room can suffer immediate asphyxiation and sudden death. So, don't take any risks. Every enclosed space that's been cut off from the outside air for any length of time is, without exception, a hazard area that can only be entered with official authorization. That's what he meant by the pearl diver, because you've got no air to breathe. The bosun congratulates Rudi for doing it correctly and not entering the hatch. And that's his reward. Master hands use their head. Ports and harbours. Plenty of scope for confusion here. Only by keeping a weather eye out for possible hazards in your workplace will you be able to guarantee your own safety and that of your crewmates. The aim is to reduce the unpredictable to a minimum. Lack of concern for one's fellows is a safety risk in itself, and that begins at home.
Heave! Hey! Wie stehst du denn
Don't
da?
stand there.
Heave!
Slowly.
Aber dann mehr.
Put another turn on. That's too many turns. Look out. How could that happen? Not enough distance from the capstan drum. The slack not cleared aside. Too many turns on the capstan drum. No safety helmet.
Hief.
Making fast. One of the many routine tasks on board? No, definitely not. Especially running out the first mooring lines requires particular care and attention. Because at this stage, outside influences can affect the motion of the ship.
Langsam hieven.
Unforeseen counter-movements can, for instance, be caused by tugs, currents, or gusts of wind.
Fest. Ein Turn mehr auf
One
den
more turn on the drum. This demands the full attention of all involved.
Kurzweise weiter hieven.
Only in close teamwork can a ship be tied up safely. So, give clear commands, keep control of the situation, concentrate on the job. Fast,
Fertig machen zum Abstoppen.
ready to stop,
Belegen.
belay,
Ist gut fest.
ship is fast, okay. It's not only important to handle the mooring lines properly. Like all other equipment on board, synthetic fiber ropes have to be properly looked after. All lines that are not wound on drums should be carefully faked down on gratings. Paints and solvents should be kept away from synthetic ropes. Frayed and untwisted ropes should never be used. Strands fused by chafing should be avoided. Intense sunshine causes invisible deterioration of synthetic ropes. That's why synthetic ropes have to be stowed away below decks or protected by a tarpaulin. Everything seems to be clear now. Or is it?
Na, haben wir alles schön aufgeklärt?
All clear?
Ja,
Yes,
fast alles.
almost everything.
Guck doch mal.
But look up there. Every year, accidents are reported to the Seeberufsgenossenschaft. Every year, casualties. Every year, fatalities. Due to accidents. Due to accidents you can avoid.
Und fast immer war
And in most cases they were due to negligence. The result, memories, grief, and maybe a document or two. That's not enough. What counts is the will to do things better in future. Am I right? Remember? Master hands use their head.